The sea never stops pulling at this town. It's a grey place for grey people, living under the weight of a leaden sky. I used to think I was different, that I could teach them something meaningful. But the chalkboard only ever tells the truth. Look at me. A man of letters reduced to counting pennies in the dark while the rest of the world sleeps. The bills don't stop. The rain doesn't stop. And then the phone rings, a sound that cuts through the silence like a blade. I answered it because I had no choice. Or maybe because I wanted to be someone else for a change. Someone who mattered. I stepped out into the night. The air tasted of salt and diesel, a cocktail for the desperate and the damned. He was waiting for me. A man I once called a friend, now just a ghost haunted by his own mistakes. He spoke in whispers, like the words were too heavy to carry. He needed a way out. I needed a way in. We made a deal. Simple, they always say. But in this town, nothing is simple when money changes hands in the dark. By day, I was the educator, grading essays on morality and justice, pretending my hands were still clean of the grime. But when the sun dipped below the horizon, the blazer came off. I became a student of a different kind of lesson. Meetings in the shadows, brief exchanges. The adrenaline was a drug more potent than any I'd ever known. I started seeing more cash than a teacher sees in a year. It felt like winning. It felt like power. But power is a heavy thing to carry. It leaves marks. My eyes in the mirror started looking like someone else's. Then she appeared, a predator in a trench coat watching from the periphery of my new life. She didn't have to say a word. Her presence was a warning. I was no longer the one making the rules. The coastal roads felt narrower, the fog thicker. Every headlight in the rearview mirror felt like a threat. I kept a crayon drawing in my briefcase, a reminder of what I was trying to save, or maybe just what I was losing. My friend was falling apart. The pressure had cracked him, and I was the only thing left for him to cling to. The spiral was pulling us both down. I could feel the cold water rising, and there was nowhere left to run. They came for me at the pier, a final exam I wasn't prepared for. The air was thick with the scent of salt. A kick. A crash. The world turned white as the contents of the briefcase spilled into the gale. Then, a flash. A sound that silenced the storm. In that moment, the lesson was finally over. I went back to the classroom one last time. The chalk felt like lead in my hand. The board had a new word today, one that would stay there long after I was gone. I stood on the platform as the train pulled in, a new destination, but the same old ghosts. Because every lesson has a price, and some of us spend our whole lives trying to pay it off.